be on. Let's see. Let's see. We should be on. Be on. Let's see. And there we go. All right. Welcome to the Sam Cush Show, everybody. We're in we're at the end of week 2 veg. We're going to be giving nutrients today. Nutrients and Aptus. Jen's in the work area right now, and she is getting some stuff mixed up. I'm going to go down and help her. But I just wanted to welcome everybody on D Live and YouTube, who we're newly streaming to, and welcome everyone on samcush.com, as well as everybody here on Twitch. Don't forget to check out the merchandise section on samcush.com. Also on koopatroop.com. You can find some really cool merchandise from Bowser and the Koopa Troop, which I'm proudly part of. So, with no further ado, I would say welcome everybody again from D Live and YouTube. Twitchers, you're used to us. We've been on Twitch for a minute. So let's change the dashboard up a little bit. Get everything rocking and rolling smooth here. And we're going to go down and put some week 2 stuff. All right, so with no further ado, I guess now I would say let me get back down to the production area, and I'll get over onto get this working done. So if you're hitting me up in the chat, it may be a little slow to respond. I will definitely respond to all the everybody in the chat on Twitch and D Live and YouTube. It just may take me a minute as we're working through some chores, getting some week 2 chores done. And look at that rainbow chip right there in the middle, front and center. She's the gem of the room. They're all the same age, and none of them, including her sisters, are that nice. So let me get down there and give her a hand, and I'll see you guys here on camera in just a second. All right, so we got audio, but I'm trying my best with it. Now we're gonna check the page. Having fun, duty? All right. Okay. I'm back upstairs. Back upstairs. Okay. So let's go over that a little bit. That sucked. The water was diluted a little bit, more than it should have been, and that's a corner we just don't cut. We just don't cut around here, but we did today. We had absolutely no choice, and I ran out of pH up. I got it to about 6. I got the pH just right, 6.6. But if we had not had the water diluted that way, we wouldn't have had to use pH up or down, because those systems come out amazingly well balanced when you use them all together. At this end, the soul line comes out pretty evenly well balanced. Here, let's get so I can hear my Streamlabs alerts and all the other things. And all the other things. There we go, that's better. Much better. Mucho grande, los better. Mucho grande, los better. So, guess it doesn't matter because I have a hat on. So let's get right into it, everybody. And I'm going to get to some cannabis news today. Today we're going to get into some cannabis news. Oops. Let me get back to this. Now we're going to get into some cannabis news. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right. This is a good one. This is a really good one. All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, husbands and wives, sons and daughters, other family affiliation I have not yet used to stall for time. This is an article came out on the 1st of January this year from U.S. News and World Report. And so this year saw a number of firsts for marijuana. Excuse me. This year saw a number of firsts for cannabis reform at both the state and federal level. Illinois became the first state legislator to legalize the sale and possession of cannabis. Cannabis banking bill passed the Democratic-controlled House in a historic vote, and a broad reform bill cleared a House committee for the first time. But legalization bills also failed in several states as lawmakers squabbled over the moral and practical implications of legalization and the details of lifting restrictions on possession and sales. Cannabis remains illegal on the federal level, but 11 states and Washington, D.C. have laws in the books legalizing the drug for recreational use. 10 states also allow the regulated sale of the drug. 2/3 of American adults support cannabis legalization, according to a recent poll. Lawmakers and voters in states where cannabis legalization narrowly failed in 2019 are primed to consider the question this year. In other states, burgeoning legalization movements ranging from grassroots ventures to organized campaigns to legislative efforts could prove successful. Here are 6 states where recreational cannabis could become legal in 2020. Topping the list, New Jersey. New Jersey voters will decide in 2020 if the state should legalize cannabis after lawmakers voted in December to put the question on the ballot. Voters will decide on a constitutional amendment that, if approved, would legalize the possession and regulated sale of cannabis. More than 60% of New Jersey adults support cannabis legalization, a February 2019 poll found, suggesting that voters are likely to approve this measure if it makes it to their ballot. The vote comes after lawmakers scuttled a cannabis legalization push in 2019, despite the fact that the state's Democratic governor campaigned on the issue and the Democratic lawmakers backed the effort. A measure legalizing cannabis and regulating sales was yanked in March for lack of support just hours before a scheduled vote in the state Senate. The Democratic Senate president declared the legislation dead, and lawmakers pledged to put it on the 2020 ballot. So you're still fighting the good fight out there in New Jersey. Keep it up. You're going to have a ballot initiative coming your way this year. Next state on our list, New Mexico. Donde los New Mexico? A bill to legalize cannabis passed the New Mexico House last year, but stalled in the state Senate before the legislative session ended. Lawmakers are likely to try again to pass legalization legislation in 2020. A plan for the legalization of regulated sales of the drug was released in October by a working group created by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, a Democrat who has pushed to make cannabis legal in the state. With Lujan Grisham's backing and the approval of a majority in the state House, getting legalization passed will come down to support in the state Senate. New Mexico has a short 1-month legislative session that begins in January. So if you live in New Mexico, lobby those guys. It's up to you, New Mexicans, to push your legislator over the edge, so to speak, in a matter of speaking. To get you all a weed law, dude. Everyone needs a weed law. Next up is New York. State legislators are expected to take up cannabis legalization once again in 2020. A legalization bill failed last year, in part because of a rift between Governor Andrew Cuomo and state lawmakers over the allocation of revenue from the weed sales. So it failed because they couldn't figure out how to spend the money. Classic bureaucracy. The 2 lawmakers who sponsored the 2019 bill said they will put forth a new legalization measure, and Cuomo has reportedly teamed up with Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont to draft a joint approach to legalization. If lawmakers and Cuomo can come to an agreement on the particulars of a legalization bill, it faces good odds in the Democratic-controlled legislature. So it seems like New York is there. They're just figuring out the details. They want to know how that pie is going to be split up before they even bake it, evidently. Right. So next up on our list would be Vermont. Vermont legalized the growth and possession of recreational cannabis in 2018, but it's still against the law to buy or sell the drug. That could change next year. The state Senate voted 23-5 in February 2018 to approve a measure to legalize, regulate, and tax cannabis sales. The measure headed to the House and cleared a committee in May, but the chamber adjourned before it could continue moving through the legislative process. Just one way of derailing these initiatives. It's obviously what your people want. In that case, the measure headed to the House and cleared a committee in May, but the chamber adjourned before it could continue moving through the legislative process. If it's something that your people obviously want, how could you adjourn before continuing to move it through the legislative process. You should have stayed longer because you had something that the people want, that sick people need, including sick children, and you left before you adjourned before it could continue moving through the legislative process. Shame the fuck on you. And too bad for everybody with the displeasure of living in your municipality. That's my opinion. Well, let's continue. The House will take the bill back up in 2020 when the second year of the 2-year legislative session begins. The measure's chances are unclear. While House Speaker Mitzi Johnson, a Democrat, said in December that passing the legislation is not a priority. Not a priority. Just meanwhile, sick people are suffering, dying of cancer. Little children with seizures they can't control, but not a fucking priority for this bitch. House Majority Leader Jill Krowinski, also a Democrat, said the measure would reach the chamber floor for a vote in 2020, according to the VT Digger, which is I imagine it's some media outlet in Vermont. State Democrats and even some Republicans have said creating a regulated retail scheme is a top priority. A regulated retail scheme being a top priority, it should be getting medicine in the hands of sick people should be your fucking priority. Who are you working for if not the people of your municipality? Please tell me. Enlighten me, because I can't see what benefit you provide anybody anywhere when you arbitrarily push aside the rights of sick people to not be sick. And it's disgusting, and you should all be removed from office. But anyway, so next up is Arizona. Arizona residents narrowly rejected a 2016 cannabis legalization ballot measure that garnered 48.7% support, but the question is likely to appear on the ballot again in 2020. 2 initiatives are under consideration, and it's likely that voters will see at least one on the ballot in November. A September poll found that 50% of likely voters support legalization, suggesting that a vote could succeed or fail by a razor-thin margin. So you're up. In Arizona, you're up. New Mexico, you're up. And you're talking about razor-thin margins. That's every single fucking vote counts. So if it's there, go and vote for it. If you need it or want it and you don't get off your ass to go vote for it, then don't complain if it doesn't go through. You had the chance and you failed. And in my opinion, I guess I'm in that kind of mood today. So last but certainly not least, with 20% of our population nationwide becoming senior citizens and Florida being their unofficial capital, Florida. So Florida has 2 campaigns pushing to get cannabis legalization on the ballot in 2020, though one has admitted that it is likely to fail. Then why do it? Why push forward with something that's likely to fail? How about push forward with something that's likely to succeed? You may have better results, but both legalization campaigns cleared the first hurdle to get an initiative on next year's ballot, and now need to submit over 766,000 signatures in support of the ballot item by January 1st. So this deadline has already passed. We're going to get an update on the situation in Florida. However, one of the groups, Regulate Florida, has already said it will not be able to meet the New Year's Day deadline. The other campaign continues, though it is unclear if it will be able to collect the needed signatures. So, huh? Over here. Yeah, so that's a little telling, I think, somewhat telling, when we have so many members of the population who are going to be seniors here really soon, and vast majority of them living in Florida. It is I think Florida is going to be one of the last places. I think it is, because you can't change these old people's mind. It's they're going to believe what they've been told to believe, and I mean they're not going to let some young people come in and fuck their whole belief system up, their whole morals and values and what's right and what's wrong. They're not going to let us fuck that up. They'll deny reality before they let us fuck that up. So I don't know. I really don't know what to say about Florida, which way that's going to go in Florida, um, if they're able to get those signatures or not. I can tell you this: I know a lot of people in Florida more so than a lot of other states need it. That's for sure. Um, yeah, so yeah, definitely needed in Florida with all the old folks down there. So let's get our smoke on and see what we can come up with. Let's get our smoke on, see what we can come up with. We might be able to come up with something good. Let's see, on my channel here. And we're live now. All right. Live now on the tubes. Ah, there we go. Look at that. All right. All right. So, hello, YouTube. Hello, D Live. And another sweet hello to Twitch. How's everybody doing? And hello, everybody on. Oh, there we go. All right. Unmute. I need to unmute it somewhere. Are we unmuted here now? There we go. There we go. All right. Hey, hey, what's up, D Live? Getting the action over here. What's up, chat? There we go. There we go. Loving it. Loving it. Loving it all day. Okay. Now, let's see. All right. Let's go over here and see our friend. That is really cool. I'm at 39. Let's roll a joint. Let's roll up a fucking fatty. for sure. For sure. For sure. Fucking crazy frog style. She's fucking funny. The funny lady. All right, so we got some gorilla mints we're gonna smoke down and talk about some news. So what's relevant? If you grow in Michigan, um, make sure that you have your shit installed properly. As I had an inspector come try to look through all my shit, like, every little detail of it. So and I guess he is scarred. He'd seen a lot of people who just kind of jerry rigged it up, and it was dangerous. So he was looking like hard for anything he could find. But if it's done right, you don't have anything to worry about. You know. But I'm just saying, make sure you do it right. Because it's like we were just talking about with those laws, what those lawmakers did in those states. There's a way they can circumvent your right. They'll circumvent it, and that's just because we're in a transitional period. We're in we are in a time of culture change. So there's always going to be some friction when around that time. Quote from Anthony Bourdain: much like making a proper omelet, rolling a proper joint is an essential life skill. And no, stuffing cones does not count. Wouldn't it be nice with some music? But I don't use music, man. I'm not going to make money off other people's streams, other people's creations, you know. I wouldn't use music unless I had permission to use it. People work hard creating their stuff. And they're protective of it. It should be. Hey, viewer, how's it going? Oh, and Frank's over watching Addy too. So, Skittle serum. What's up, Skittle? I'm gonna just go with Skittle, man. I'm gonna go with Skittle. Uh, I do and I don't. I make I make butter, medicated butter that my patients can then make edibles with. And the other thing I make is edible tincture. Tincture is an old word for uh, edible oil or oral liquid. Um, so it's vegetable glycerin based, but it's infused with all of the cannabinoids you'd get in a mature plant. It's made with mature buds, and you put it directly in your mouth. It has kind of a sweet taste from the glycerin, um, but it's like edibles, with skipping the food. Do you use edibles? Hey, thanks for the follow, Skittles. Some of the best strains out right now are Skittles, man. Like I'm growing that one you see here front and center, that big nice one is Rainbow Chip, which is a watermelon Skittles, and then I've got and something else. I could look it all up, but I've got it written down. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. I mean, and then the other one I have is Melonade, which also has Skittles in it, and those genes are like parents. The parents are award winners, and the offspring. Yeah, and that's the thing about edible Skittles is that they vary, man, a lot. It's the strongest way that you can take cannabis. So if it's done right and it's done with good buds going in, then you get strong edibles coming out. But people make it with trim, they make it with leftovers, they make it with all kinds of shit, and it varies. I've had edibles that I wondered whether or not they were even real. And then I've had edibles that I ate and went straight to bed. Just fucking, I ate it and I was watching TV and I have no memory of anything. I just woke up the next day like holy shit, that one worked. But they vary a lot. I'll smoke down on this Gorilla Vince, man. Pretty good stuff. The Gorilla Mints that I got, 30.6%. It tested out at, and the other one, the Face on Fire, I've got a pheno of that tested at 30.8. I've never broke 30.8. I've got a Larry Purps uh, plant, which is Larry Bird Breath, and um, Mendo Purps, isn't it? Mendocino Purps? I think so. It's cross, and it's a hybrid of the two, and that I got to 30.8. But I've never crossed 30.8. I've never been to actually 39 or 30.9. Oh, yeah. So, Skittles, check out my website, samkush.com. There's cool merchandise over there. Also, cool channels you can check out. Frank Howley on here. Audrey, which is 2DDEY. She's doing some art right now. Really, really cool channels to check out. And also for a community kind of atmosphere, the Koopa Troop. You can find them and cool merchandise for them too over at koopatroop.com. So check those out and check us out here on here, D Live, and YouTube. Well, YouTube as long as they let us. I'm kind of pushing the envelope on. I'm pushing the bar anyway up as high up as I can get it on other platforms. I'm within Twitch terms of service, but right now I'm outside of YouTube's terms of service. But my hope is that it changes, man. My hope is that I'm trying to be in front of the curve instead of behind it. And D Live, if you're watching us over on D Live, um, on D Live has got its own category for us already. So they're the first to do it. The first to offer us our own category. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm hoping that we see that here on Twitch soon and YouTube eventually one day. But we'll see. Man, some pretty good stuff. So if you hear some strains to watch out for, man, this is always fun. This is always a fun edition. We talk about this a little bit. Strains to be excited about in 2020. So the first one is they didn't label it. They thought they labeled it. It's a stoner that wrote this. They didn't label it, but if you read it, if you read through it, the name of it's in there. Let's see. Peanut butter breath. Peanut butter breath. Check that one out. It's a variant on Mendo breath with roots in OGKB. Continues to gain fans. Frosty, dank, and scrumptiously nutty smell. Peanut butter breath is a cross of Dosey Dose and Mendo breath F2. And for high tolerance THC consumers only. This is the double black diamond of strains. Double black diamond. Michigan breeder. What's up? Thug Pug Genetics claims it, but sells seeds. So it's loose and out there, and we can all get it. Runts, man. Have you guys, has anyone smoked runts? Runts. I've heard a lot about them, but I've never seen them. Never actually seen them. They're more popular down south. If you haven't heard of runts, that'll definitely change soon. Another hype strain from the famous cookies family, runts crosses Skittles and gelato. I've got something very similar to that in the Melanato that I've got, but to give us a delicious, sweet, and sugary treat, much like its namesake. When we first added runts to the site, it quickly shot up to the 14th most popular, and this is off Leafly. This is the 14th most popular strain in less than a month. If that doesn't scream, hey, keep an eye on out for me for the 2020 strain of the year, I don't know what does. Vanilla frosting. Vanilla frosting is next. So this one, Red Hot Humboldt Sun Growers Guild Sold strain is also getting pumped up as clones by Dark Heart Nursery in California. It is an on-trend dessert indica with a novel vanilla finish. Vanilla frosting was bred by Happy Dreams Farms and picked by Humboldt Seed Company from 10,000 plants over multiple generations in what's called a pheno hunt. We've all taken part in pheno hunts, as in a search for the next legendary phenotype. It's also available as seeds, so anyone can be a homegrown legend this fall. And getting here to the end of the list, Gelinade, and this I'm very excited about this because I have both these genetics in my room now. This hyped and exotic variety from a Connected Cannabis Company can be found on top shelves across California where it's very popular. Gelinade is lemon tree crossed with gelato 41. I have Melanade, which is the same thing. They're just calling it different. They're calling it something different. They're calling it Gelinade, and the variant I got it was called Melanade, but it's lemon tree and gelato mixed. So it's got gobs of sweets with sweet, thick, syrupy lemon terpenes mixed into the creamy berry and cookies of gelato. Connected Cannabis Company has indoor gelinade dialed in for 2020, and we are dialing some in as we speak. And last but not least, Banjo. Banjo. Let's throw a citrus strain on the list. We think the cross of Boost and Tangelo, called Banjo, is going to have a breakout in 2020. Birthed in 2018, Banjo gained steam in 2019 among citrus terpene lovers and the farmers who serve them. Banjo's refreshing effects aren't as strong as the strongest competitors out here, but Banjo is plenty strong for legalization's new wave of low to medium tolerance cannabis fans looking for a more functional mood alteration. Leafly's Banjo lovers often report feeling creative on it. You know what that says to me? Weak. That says weak. That says kids weed. Like, I don't know. I would stay away from Banjo. Like, I read that in the dispensary and I instantly don't want it, you know? But, and it doesn't seem too promising. Yeah. So get this, man. Another fucking cool news story. Not cool, but it's kind of funny. Um, but in order to really bring this home for you, I'm gonna have to do a screenshot here of this picture. Here, let me get this picture first, and then we're gonna put this up. Here, let me mount this here. Here's an image for your consideration. Possibly. There we go. So now let me get into the story first, and I've got the image all ready to go. So the Daily Globe reported that the Michigan town of Bessemer has voted to spend approximately $3,400 to purchase a device to smell cannabis plants and train police officers in its use. This is in a state where it's legal to grow them. You know, it's like, well, what are they? Why do you need a nasal ranger? You could just ask me. I would tell you. Don't I? Like, why would you? Why would you hide it? But according to the town city council, the most common complaint from residents is the overwhelming odor created by the growing of cannabis. The state legalized recreational cannabis December, but there are restrictions on how many plants individuals can have in their property. The city of Bessemer stinks. Council member Linda Nelson said, "You can smell cannabis everywhere. We've got people who can't sit in their backyards because of the smell from their neighbor is so bad." And what I would say to them, so uh, they call this the nasal ranger, right? And here it is. Here's the nasal ranger, guys. That's what it looks like. And I'm not making that up, man. There it is, dude. That's the motherfucker out walking around trying to find your legal weed plants with that thing. Does more than one person use it? Does it get snotty? I imagine it gets snotty. It looks to me like it'd be awfully snotty. It looks infectious. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it. I'd have to have my own. Not to mention, you look like the biggest dick in the world walking around with that thing. I don't understand why they need it. Because about the smell, people started complaining about the smell first in 2008, 2009. And there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. It's like this. We have voted it in here as a majority. It's part of our culture now. If you don't like the smell, there are still, I believe, 20 or 21 states that don't have any kind of cannabis law whatsoever. And I'm sure they would welcome you home anytime you want to come. So if you don't like it, move. I mean, it's a free country, right? So go find one of those places. And you're running from nothing. You're running. It's futile to run because wherever you go, it's eventually going to come there too. Yeah. So I think it's better, probably better for you to just get over it. Probably should just get over that shit. All right, let's get rid of the nasal ranger. I can't look at it anymore. I can't do it. I can't look at the nasal ranger any longer. Yeah, crazy. Crazy shit. So what's some other shit we talked about on the show yesterday? Oh man, that people may have missed secondhand weed smoke. We talked about the effects and benefits, of secondhand weed smoke, and believe it or not, there really are no benefits, but there's no ill effects either. Secondhand weed smoke is more similar to the type of smoke exposure you would get in a house that is burning a potpourri pot, or incense, or a fireplace, or a wood burning stove. Actually, less than a lot of those. Less than a lot of those things. So, uh, right. So what I'm saying is that it's totally different. I don't even want to get into the entire thing like we did yesterday. But hey, Skittles, thanks for the follow, man. And we're hitting about the hour mark here. We're actually over by a couple minutes. I want to try to keep it right to about an hour for now. But thanks for the follow, man. And we'll be back here every day, right around every day, every other day at it, with updates from the grow up. And let's get a quick last little boom. That's what they're looking like at the end of week two. Um, so yeah, these LEDs. Oh, okay, never mind. So these LEDs, yeah, they do really well. So that's what we're working with today at the end of week two. So come check us out, man. And we'll be around, and we'll be here, and let's go see over and see what Addie's doing. Audie's doing over here. I wish I could draw. That would be cool. All right.